Hi, welcome guys, Mike Newton. I'm actually on course here at St Anne's Old Links. I've got a new product to review for you today in a perfect environment to test this particular product. So it's the new TaylorMade P790 UDI. So many of you will know I have got the original UDI in the bag, so I'm really excited to test this and see if this is anything better than what I've got in my bag. Very nice sort of new look to it. So we're going to test it on the course, some tee shots, some shots off the ground, and give you guys a bit of an idea of how this new club performs. Okay, so sitting this down by the ball, it does look very nice. As many of you know, I've got the original UDI iron in my bag, which I really enjoy. I love the look of it, and this is a very similar look, probably a little bit of a better shape in that toe section, but again, looks very nice, slim, little bit of offset, medium slim top line. That feels superb off the club face. A little bit on that left hand side, but I will take that. Okay, so what's happening with the new UDI from TaylorMade? So P790, name staying the same, UDI staying the same, but some little subtle changes in what they've done with the club face. So the club face is now 7% thinner, so we're going to be possibly expecting a little bit more ball speed off the club face, possibly across the whole club face. We're also seeing double the amount of tungsten that's actually in the head. So again, we saw tungsten in the previous model, we've seen double the amount in this new model. So expecting maybe to see things like higher MOI, a little bit more forgiveness on those slight miss hits. Cosmetic wise, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more of a polished sole now. I think it looks good. It's a bit cleaner on the look of it, and it's a bit more of a player's shaping, I would probably say, with sitting down by the golf ball. And obviously it ties in with the new launch of the new P790 irons that are going to be launched, well, same sort of time basically. Okay, so real test is obviously on a links course like we're here at St Anne's Old Links, and I think this type of iron would really sort of suit a lot of golfers, is trying to get that more piercing sort of ball flight. So we sometimes see some driving irons which are a little bit more bulked up, so a little bit fatter in that sole, a bit more weight pulled back from the face, which tend to be a little bit higher launching. One of the big things I liked with the original UDI was it gave me a more penetrating flight against my old utility iron, which was a little bit more sort of chunkier. So this is where this club lends itself more for those sort of windier conditions where you can feel like you can get that ball flight dropping in a little bit through that lower window of that launch typically. So I'm going to hit one off the fairway here, or off the ground should I say, and just try and get a little bit more of that stinger sort of ball flight and see if we can get this sort of penetrating a little bit more against that wind. Yeah, and that's lovely. Really good neutral flight. And you can see that when that lands, that's going to want to release as well. So you're going to get a little bit more of that sort of run out with that sort of flight as it hits the ground, which is great for a course, again, which is sort of more drier, faster running, and obviously in that windy, more of that windy environment. Okay, so let's look at some dry ball data that we've just got in the studio earlier. So we can see club head speed was average, sorry, ball speed was averaging at 140 mile an hour, launching at 11.5 and spinning at 3,200. So maybe a little bit on the higher side. I would just add to that the flex of this is a stiff. I typically will go into an X, which will probably just reduce my spin number a little bit. So I think if that was averaging just under that sort of 3,000 mark, I would be more than happy with the sort of penetrating and knowing that it's going to get a little bit more of that stinger sort of flight. So averaging there on these particular shot of 224 carry, so potentially the run out, obviously depending on what it's landed on, potentially getting up to that sort of 250 sort of mark. So looks to be performing as expected, to be honest. You know, you can see obviously ball speed will change a little bit through my strike, as we all know, but looks to be performing pretty decent. Okay, so probably a lot of you thinking there, maybe looking at the looks between those two clubs, there's not a massive amount in it, is there? Yeah, 7% thinner on the face, we've got a little bit more tungsten. How much more does that give us? Again, I think that's another video coming in comparison against the UDI, but I think going back to when they originally brought the UDI out, it literally sold out before it was actually officially sort of launched in a way. So I think it sold much quicker than what TaylorMade expected. So it was like, oh, hang on a minute, we haven't planned of making any more. So I think now is where it's introduced along with the new launch of the new P790 irons. as probably more of a mainstream product in their range. So that's probably the reason where it's not going to be a huge amount of difference between that and the old one, because the old one was very good, I thought. As I say, it'd be interesting to see that if there's any difference to that ball speed, and also maybe that forgiveness factor possibly as well. Right, okay guys, so there we go. There's the new TaylorMade UDI P790 iron. So looks wise, it's got a little bit of new makeover there, but really it looks very, very similar to the old UDI. Clearly got that 7% thinner club face, more tungsten there, which we can't physically see, so that's why it just looks identical really as you put it against the old one. But obviously I'm going to do another video with a comparison between that and my old one, and just see if we can get that little bit more ball speed with that thinner face. Is it a little bit more forgiving with more of that tungsten, which is really what it's sort of aimed at. So I think if you've got the original UDI, would you be upgrading to this new one? I don't know, we need to see more through that compare video, but I think on looks you probably wouldn't be doing. There's no real sort of differences with the way that golf club actually looks, but obviously performance we need to sort of do a little bit more detail. Okay, so thanks very much for watching. Post your comments down below, let me know your thoughts on the new P790 UDI iron. Is that something that you would sort of want to be putting in the golf bag? Is it a windy course do you play when you like to try and see that low sort of ball flight? I think this is very much what this product is aimed at, so I'd love to hear your thoughts as always. If you haven't subscribed and you're enjoying the content I'm putting out, then please hit that subscribe button, very much appreciated. It does help me to get new products in my hands early enough to get out for you guys, so you can see what all these new clubs and products are all about. Okay, thanks very much for watching, appreciate watching as always, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.